So this is a message to all the English patriots out there who have taken some kind of stand. What are you standing for? What are you marching for? What's going on? I mean, the fact of the matter is that I used to be of the same mentality as you guys, okay? I used to think a long time ago Muslims were a problem, Islam was dangerous and backwards and barbaric and all that kind of stuff. So I know where you guys are coming from. But do you know what? I was like 15 years old at the time when I thought that. I grew up. I got a life. I got an education. You know, I actually met some Muslims and spoke to them about it. And do you know what? I'm a Muslim now. And don't even think to call me a race traitor, because I'm not the one going out there smashing things up, burning down police stations. Seriously, guys, grow up, get some culture, get an education. The reason you hate Muslims so much is because you don't know anything about them. You don't know anything about Islam.
And I think that the reason why people are converting more to the Islam religion is because they're finding truth and honesty in their life. When we live in a world now where you're told that there are 120 odd genders, when we live in a world now where we are told that the family unit does not matter, that it is not a man's role to look after the family, it is not a woman's role to raise the children in the best way she possibly can, because that system has been corrupted and destroyed so that kids are raised by the system, you will actually turn to the nearest source of truth. And I think right now, in a very crazy world, the nearest source of truth is Islam. It's got all the fundamentals there for a good life, for an honest life.
Britain is being taken over by Muslims. My country needs to go back to the way it was. What are you actually scared about? Let me tell you something. Muslims don't like porn. They don't like violence. They don't like drinking. What happens in your family households at every point of the year where you get together when you start drinking? Tell me that, leave it in the comments. What happens in our British drinking culture when we get together and drink? Oh, wait. Muslims don't like cheating around. The no sex before marriage. Tell me, if you're a British woman, especially if you're working class, tell me if you've ever been cheated on. Oh, wait. And then tell me if you like that. Do you like that about our culture? Do you like our men not having any faith? Do you like dating men who don't pray? And men that you cannot lean on when there is severe stress in the family or in your life? A man that doesn't say, don't worry, God has got you, let's pray on it. Muslims don't like gambling. Muslims are clean. It would be a clean country, great hygiene, if more Muslims keep growing in your neighbourhood. Or would you prefer to live with your neighbours who have a wheelie bin full of beer cans every weekend? Is that what you want, to keep Britain being about British? Your children would be safer in a highly populated Muslim area. Open your mind.
The rights of Muslim women to property and inheritance, and to the conducting of business, were rights prescribed by the Quran 1400 years ago. Some of these rights were novel even to my grandmother's generation. Think what could be achieved if mothers and fathers, the teachers in madrasas and imams, all sought to demonstrate to children how to translate Islamic teachings into practical action. Many of the traits on which modern Europe prides itself came to it from Muslim Spain. Diplomacy, free trade, open borders, the techniques of academic research, of anthropology, etiquette, fashion, various types of medicine, hospitals. Islam is part of our past and our present in all fields of human endeavour. It has helped to create modern Europe. It is part of our own inheritance.
of moral decay in the West. Did I ever tell you why I came to Saudi Arabia?
No.
I'm an ophthalmologist. You know, financially, the opportunities in America were much better than the opportunities overseas. I just came upon an advertisement looking for an ophthalmologist here in the Middle East by the group that I did join, which is called Maghribi. And I had interviewed for the position, and I was considering that compared with the other opportunities I had in the States, which were much more lucrative. And it was not an easy decision at the time. And I was thinking about it back and forth with, talking with my wife, considering the advantages of coming to a Muslim country versus the advantages of staying in America and making more money and so on and so forth. Well, right about that time, there was a couple in our area. They were both doctors and both wildly successful. They were working in private practice. They drove new Mercedes-Benzes every year. They had all the trappings of high financial success in the West. And right about that time, their daughter turned 18, the age of majority in the States. And the moment she turned 18, she went to her parents. She took off her hijab. She said, I want a boyfriend, I want an apartment, I want to live as I want to live, I'm out of here. And she did it. She had left the home, she took off her hijab, she started living in the Western style, she started living in Zina with a boyfriend in an apartment, going clubbing, going drinking, and so on and so forth. And so, the best part of that was that she was drinking alcohol and dancing, and living in Zina. The worst part of it was that she left the religion. And her mother was just, psychologically destroyed, and she couldn't work. She basically collapsed in her home, and she just stayed at home, crying, and just saying over and over again, I would give everything for my daughter. I'd give everything to have my daughter back. And it was their only child. And my wife and I looked at our situation. We had one daughter who was 1 year old. We just said, you know what, that makes our decision a whole lot easier. And so that's why I accepted the position here in the Middle East. And the rewards of living in Saudi Arabia and in Medina in specific just are difficult to count. You realize how unimportant money really is. When you look back, just the blessings of living in Saudi Arabia and Medina in particular far outweighed any additional financial benefit I think I could have earned for myself in the